From Wells Fargo Arena in Des Moines, it's the Iowa High School State Wrestling Tournament. Our pre-match coverage is brought to you by Channel Seed.
You gotta rise, you gotta get up, you gotta push yourself just a little bit further when you think you've done enough. It's time to shine, oh, it's time to fly high. Coming down the tracks, ain't looking back, oh, it's time to rise and shine.
Welcome to the Iowa High School State Wrestling Championships on the Hy-Vee Championship Network. Live from Wells Fargo Arena in Des Moines. Hi everyone, I'm Bob Selby. This is Mark Ironside. Thank you for joining us for tonight's final round coverage. And tonight is the culmination of years and years of hard work, commitment, and dedication by these athletes just to earn the right to be called state champions, Mark.
Well, you know, yesterday they had the quarterfinals, the semifinals. The stage is set tonight for the finals. We got 42 matches coming up here tonight, Bob, and things are really going to get heated up here fast tonight.
Well, it's about to unfold right here in front of us on our 3 championship mats. While we got a chance, why don't we get down there and get ready for the Grand March to kick this thing off?
Good evening. The Iowa High School Athletic Association would like to welcome you to Championship Saturday at the 2022 State Wrestling Tournament. The 336 student athletes who are this year's medal winners are ready to enter the arena for the 53rd annual Grand March. They represent the 672 wrestlers from 217 different member school teams who qualified for the 2022 state tournament. This year's Grand March escort is a familiar face in the Iowa wrestling world and a very recent Hall of Fame inductee, Jim Miller. The longtime Wartburg College coach has dedicated his career to advocating for the sport and improving the quality of it in Iowa, and the IHSAA is indebted to him for his efforts. Thank you, Coach Miller. And now, please welcome this year's medal winners and escorts onto the mats for the Grand March. Ladies and gentlemen, in the past 6 months, the Iowa wrestling community lost 2 iconic figures with the passing of Wyatt Schultz and Mark Reiland.
I just want to make sure
Wyatt Schultz was the owner of The Predicament, a very popular wrestling publication which covered wrestling in Iowa for decades, and also a talented photographer.
When we do that?
He covered numerous wrestling competitions during his many years of service to the sport. He received a number of awards for his wrestling coverage, including election to the 2020 class of the Iowa Wrestling Hall of Fame. Wrestling was Wyatt's passion. He covered it well, and he covered it all, from youth tournaments to high school to all levels of college wrestling. If you are a wrestler or a wrestling fan in the state of Iowa, there's a good chance that you knew Wyatt Schultz. Mark Reiland impacted wrestling at all levels. As a competitor, he was a two-time state champion for Eagle Grove and an NCAA champion and two-time All-American at the University of Iowa. He transitioned into coaching and turned Iowa City West into a perennial power, winning 7 total state team titles. Reiland also devoted time during the spring and summer working with wrestlers in freestyle and Greco-Roman through Iowa USA Wrestling. The 2016 Iowa Wrestling Hall of Fame inductee dedicated his entire life to the sport and its competitors. Today, in this tournament that these two men so cherished, we ask that you join us in a moment of silence to honor our fallen iconic friends of wrestling, Wyatt Schultz and Mark Reiland. Thank you. Tonight's national anthem will be sung by West Delaware's Lauren Johnson. Lauren is a junior at West Delaware High School. The daughter of Carl and Christy Johnson, she is under the direction of Miss Leighton Ware. Her honors include a 2019 Opus Honor Choir, a 1 rating for her solo and solo ensemble, and soloing the national anthem for last year's state wrestling duels. She plans to attend Brigham Young University. So please, remove your hats, face the flag for the singing of our national anthem by West Delaware's Lauren Johnson.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, sailors, that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Welcome to the Iowa High School State Wrestling Championship on the Hy-V Championship Network. We are back here live at Wells Fargo Arena. Let's take a look at our returning champions presented by Golden Rule Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Golden Rule Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling obeys the rules to live with, a standard you just don't see every day. Go to goldenrulephc.com. As you see there, starting with 1A, and this is quite a list, so it'll take 2 shots here. There are 11 returning champions in 1A. Up and down that line, you'll see 5 Don Bosco wrestlers in that list. We move on to 2A, a little bit shorter list, but a very impressive list, anchored by Wyatt Volker of West Delaware. Now we go to 3A, and this list is 2 pages long. A lot of returning champions in 3A, and in those 3 classes, there are 3 going for 4. There are your returning champions. Individuals always have a great storyline here at the tournament, Mark, but really it's also about the team races, and the thrills that brings in all three classes. Let's start with 1A and get a chance to take a look at this, how it's shaping up so far. It looks like a runaway train with Don Bosco's name on the side.
Don Bosco out to a commanding lead. They've locked up first, and they have 5 finalists tonight, so they could really still do a lot of damage tonight. Lisbon locks up second. Logan Magnolia and Underwood, and once Sue's out of it, they no more finalists there tonight. But Logan Magnolia and Underwood, 2 finalists each. That one could be a tight race for the third-place trophy.
Well, that's 1A. Now the Impact Wrestlers for Class 1A, Cookies Impact Wrestlers. Let's take a look at this, brought to you by Cookies. Smart cookies, use cookies. And we've got a good one here, Mark.
Yeah, Marcel Lopez out of New London right there at 126 pounds, going for his 4th state title here tonight.
Unbelievable. On to 2A now. Team standings, very interesting in 2A, Mark.
Now, 2A standings right here. This is going to be an interesting one to follow tonight. Notre Dame Burlington out in front by 1.5 points is all, and Osage right behind them. Both those guys, Burlington has 3 finalists, Osage has 2. And then also West Delaware, West Liberty, or Webster City matter, they are fighting for that 3rd-place trophy. Sergeant Bluff Luton has no finalists, but West Delaware and Webster City could sneak up into there for that 3rd-place trophy.
Let's take a look at our Cookies Impact Wrestler for Class 2A, and again, a possible 4-time champion, Mark.
Carter Fausick out of Crestwood Cresco, 138 pounds, going for his 4th state title, as you mentioned, dominating his way through this tournament so far here today.
Unbelievably tough wrestler in 2A. 3A standings, Mark, we had the teams right. We just didn't know how they'd shake out. This is an interesting race, but only for 2nd and 3rd, it looks like.
Southeast Polk out to a commanding lead, but don't count out Waukee Northwest and Waverly Shell Rock. Neither one of those teams are technically, mathematically out of it, but more than likely, unless some bonus points happen and Southeast Polk doesn't do so hot in the final tonight, Waukee Northwest and Waverly are going to be battling it out for that 2nd and 3rd place trophies.
And let's get a chance to look at our Cookies Impact Wrestler for 3A, and it's none other than Robert Avila of Iowa City West, Mark.
Iowa City West, Robert Avila at 145 pounds, going for his 4th state championship as well. All 3 wrestlers going for their 4th state championships tonight are your Cookies Class 3A Impact Wrestlers.
Well, there you have that. We're almost ready for action. We will come back and start bringing it to you right here on the Hy-Vee Championship Network.